Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James. It's Tuesday morning, May 17th, 2011. Here's your live trade and recap, school trade, sideways markets. Another great day in the room this morning, guys. We are in our third week of the month now. We've had a huge first 2 weeks. How did we do today? Well, Tuesday morning, what was happening here? We had a couple important things that gave us some clues this morning. Now, first of all, we had to navigate through 8:30 and 9:15 news. Now, remember, we had some big news at 9:15, so we had to finish up our trading in the pre-market before we had that 9:10 alarm clock go off. So we knew we had to get all of our trades in the pre-market before the 9:15 news, because then we'd have to wait for 9:30 to come around. And it was amazing because we literally got about a half an hour of great price action before 9:15. We then saw a big slowdown right from 9:30 almost all the way to 11:30 today. We really didn't get very good price action until after 11:15. 11:15 rolled around, crude made new lows, gold made new lows. We'll show you guys that in a second. Okay, so we knew right away this morning, if we're going to trade the pre-market, it'll have to be before 9:10. And it was amazing because we literally got about a half an hour of good price action there after 8:30 news, before 9:15, and we really made we made a big chunk of our money at that point. Now, it all began on the dollar. Okay, the dollar really was our guide today. We began our morning prep this morning on the dollar. If you missed it this morning, you missed a lot. Don't miss tomorrow's morning prep at 7:45. Dollar was in a wedge. Most importantly, though, the dollar was at the lows of the wedge at 7:45, but by 8 o'clock, the dollar is at the highs of the wedge. By 8:30, it's pushing through the highs. And we had said, right, our plan of attack was real simple. If the dollar was going to rise, we were planning on selling retracements on gold and crude. So if the dollar was then going to fall, we said we're going to buy pullbacks at support on gold and crude. So dollar's in a wedge. And how the dollar played inside that wedge literally told us exactly what to do in our trading this morning. This is what it looked like at 8 o'clock this morning. So about 8:45 this morning. At 8:45 this morning, the dollar here, right, there's my wedge. At 8:45 this morning, where am I? I'm going towards the high of that wedge. Okay, so 8:45 this morning, I haven't cleared the wedge. I'm still worried we're chopping around inside this wedge in the dollar right now. I'm hoping the dollar will break out, up, or down. Right? Give me something, because if it stays in that wedge, I'm going to be falling asleep all day today here in the markets. Now follow me down here to the next chart. The next chart here, this now shows up what time it got here, right? 9:30, 9:45. Now what do we see? There's that wedge again, but now where am I? I'm above the wedge. So as you can see, what happened was, again, at 8:30, we're inside the wedge. By 9 o'clock here, we've broken through the highs all the way to test the high, right? Swing high above us. And now we're going to begin to fall. So by 9 o'clock, dollar had broken new highs. Key here was we were ready for that. We were looking to sell the lows on the gold. Then later on in the morning, dollar's at the highs. It comes tumbling back off those highs, and we were ready to start buying here. And so, of course, here at 9 o'clock this morning, 8:45, right, we break below. And so when I break below, the first thing I think about is, if we can break through this trigger line, I'm going right back up. So I look for a two-step long. Look for the long. What do we see? No big buyers. I remember this like it was like 10 seconds ago. I remember this morning at 9 o'clock. Price drops. I'm looking to buy. It looked like it was going to be an easy buy, bring it right back up in. But that didn't happen. What ended up happening was momentum quickly moved into overbought territory. We then got ready for a short. There's your wave short. Now I took the short 8:45. It got me a +5, -5. Very disappointing, because we then watched it as it began to slowly tumble through, and then once it broke below that swing low, that's when I knew sell the next retracement, and this one was a nice big 60 tick winner. 852, 82.4, another entry here in the wave short. 10, right, 24, 37 is 61. All right, so a big old winning trade there, guys, over $600 on the gold. And again, that was as simple as watching that dollar rise. I went to sell retracements on the gold. The first one failed, But eventually, though, the speed picked back up. We kept getting new lower lows, and once I got below that swing low, that's when I knew it's time to get into this party here again and bring this thing back down. Now at this point, right, we had some major support down here, and that's where I took my profit off.